say something that might feel a little uncomfortable. The church has hurt a lot of people. Maybe that's part of your story too. And if it is, I just want to say this first. I'm really sorry. I say this in a genuine way because church hurt is real and it can run deep. And here's the tension I've been sitting with. The church hurt me, but Jesus didn't. I want to be really clear before we move on. This isn't a video to defend the church, and it's not a video to dismiss your experience or your feelings. If anything, this is a space to be honest about it. Because a lot of people don't walk away from faith because of Jesus. They walk away because of what happened to them in spaces with people who were supposed to represent him. And that matters. Your experience matters. There was a moment in my life where I experienced this. I spent time working alongside church leadership, and it didn't meet my expectations. The leadership wasn't healthy, and at the end, I remember feeling hurt and misunderstood. It affected my entire belief system. I questioned my relationship with God, my relationship with ministry, the church. What hurt the most was how I started to believe something was wrong with me. Everything within me felt very broken. It took me a very long time to have the courage to step into the church. At some point, I had to start asking a hard question. Was this actually Jesus? Or was this the people in his space doing their best or sometimes their worst to represent him? And that question changed everything for me. It might change some things for you as well. Because when I started looking at Jesus himself, I saw something different. I saw someone who moved toward people, not away from them. Someone who made space for questions. Someone who didn't shame people in their pain, didn't criticize them in their own experiences. When you take a look at the Jesus in the Gospels, you don't see him manipulating people. You don't see him practicing gaslighting. You don't see him pressuring people into belief. You see him sitting with people, listening, restoring dignity, eating at the same table with them, moving toward the very people others pushed out. And that doesn't erase what happened. It doesn't erase their past or their experience, but it does reframe something important. Maybe what hurt you wasn't Jesus. And I think this is where it gets complicated. Because sometimes the people who hurt us really believed they were doing the right thing. And sometimes they didn't. They knew what they were doing was wrong. But either way, the impact is still real. And healing doesn't happen by pretending it didn't hurt. Healing starts when we become honest about it. And slowly we begin to separate who Jesus actually is from what we experienced. So if you've been hurt by the church, but there's still something that in you that is curious about Jesus, both feelings can exist. You're human. And maybe you don't have to rush back into anything. Maybe it just starts with curiosity again, with asking, what if Jesus is different from what I experienced? If you've been hurt and you're still here, I just want you to know that you're not alone. If this resonated with you, subscribe and share how it touches you in the comments. And if you want to go deeper with other like-minded people, you can join our community. We're building a space for honest, gentle conversations around faith and spirituality and church hurt. I'm really glad you're here.